This is the Loklik iCraft, a new smart cutting machine, and in today's video we are going to compare it to Cricut. I have found the Cricut machine that most resembles this one, has a lot of the same features. We're going to put them head to head and see how they stack up. Hey, I'm Sarah, you're watching Creative Ramblings. I'm so glad you're here today. We have another video on the Loklik iCraft. So I've done a bunch of videos on this machine. You can take a look at the playlist in the description if you want to learn more. So this is a smart cutting machine. There are a lot of these on the market. The most popular brand is probably Cricut. You have probably heard of them. They are synonymous with crafting and smart cutting. I own a lot of their machines. They are excellent machines. They really do what they're supposed to do, and they do it well. So when you are thinking about getting a machine, you may automatically gravitate toward Cricut because they have the brand reputation, they have the name recognition, and they have a lot of options. But in today's video, I just want to let you know that there are other options out there that are really well performing. So here's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to take the Loklik iCraft, and I have found the Cricut machine that it is most like. And we're going to put them head to head, see how they stack up, talk about pricing and functionality, and help you figure out if this might be a good machine for you. So let's go over the specs of this machine first. So it is pretty compact here. It weighs about 11 pounds. It has a nice little tool holder on the side. So I've got a pen and a weeding tool in here. And then it also has a place to put your blade and tool holders here. Nice little holder. When you open it up, it has a couple of buttons on the side, power and pause, a load and unload, and a start and stop button. And then we have this piece right here. This is a tool holder. So right now I have the fine point blade in it, and I can easily pop this out. This is the blade. And then this tool over here would hold the other things like the pen, the scoring tool, or the foiling tool. It just pops in there, and then the blade has a nice little storage space over on the side. It has these little rollers here, so it can accept a cutting mat, a 12 by 12 or a 12 by 24 cutting mat. So you can cut any size material that will fit on that 12 by 12 mat. It can also cut, again, on a larger mat, the 12 by 24. The iCraft has the ability to cut without a mat as well. So you can get their materials that load right in here, and they're going to cut just a little bit wider than that 12-inch. And you're going to be able to cut about 13 feet long in one continuous cut. Matless cutting is really good if you're making long projects. So let's say you want to make a detailed sign with words on it that has a script font so everything is connected. You don't want to be able to piece all of that together. So cutting it on one continuous piece of vinyl, really helpful. So you have that capability here. There are a number of different tools you can put in this holder right up front here. So we have the fine point blade. This is what you're going to use for just about everything. Vinyl, HTV, most paper, all kinds of materials you're going to use that fine point blade for. You can also get a deep point blade, which is going to cut thicker materials, like really thick cover stock and thicker. You could probably cut thin cardboard with this, craft foam. That thicker material is going to need the deep point blade. Then, with this cartridge that I have in right now, you can add in a pen and you can write and draw with the pen. You can add in a scoring tool so you can do fold lines on your cards. And then you can add a foiling tool. So they do have a whole foiling kit, which allows you to put foil onto cards. So it kind of writes words or draws designs, but it gives you a foil effect. Really, really beautiful. A couple other accessories you can get for this. When you are cutting that long, continuous piece of vinyl, they have a roll holder that sits in front that holds the vinyl and feeds it in, so it's not just rolling all over the place. And then it comes with a cutter that will seamlessly cut off your vinyl when you're done with the project. This machine can also perform print then cut. So there is a sensor in this housing here. I do have a video on how to make stickers if you want to learn more about print then cut. But essentially in their software, I can create stickers, send them over to my home inkjet printer. This is not a printer. Once it's printed, I load it in here, and this is going to sense where the stickers are and cut them out. There is a way to calibrate it and get really, really accurate cuts to make stickers or cut out pieces of cardstock that you have printed. This machine can connect via USB or Bluetooth. There is a connection on the side over here, and then it also has a power cord that plugs into the wall. It comes with software called Loklik Idea Studio. I just did a video covering all the functions of that software if you want to check that out. It is available on Mac and OS. There is also an app available for it, which is really nice because you don't have to plug it into a computer. You can operate this with your phone. When you order the machine only, not a bundle, you're just ordering the machine, what you get is kind of everything you see here. You get the machine, you get the fine point blade. This is a housing. So if I push this button, this blade actually kind of pops out. When you get it, you get 2 of those blades in one housing, which is kind of nice to just have one on hand for when it gets dull. You also get this housing here, which holds the pen, and the pen is going to come with it. That deep point blade, the scoring tool, all of that, that is separate. You are going to get a weeding tool, which is very nice to have. You're going to get the power cord and the USB cord, a cutting mat, and a number of different test materials so you can make those initial cuts. The Cricut machine that most matches the iCraft is the Cricut Explore 3. So that is one of 2 Cricut machines I do not own. I own 5 of their 7 machines. I actually own the Explore 2, which was the precursor to the Explore 3. So we're going to talk about it, but I don't physically have it here to show you. The Explore 3 is almost an exact match for the iCraft. It is one of their newer machines that came out, and when you take the jump from the Explore 2 to the Explore 3, you were able to add on a lot of the features that this iCraft has right here. So like the iCraft, you can load a mat into it and you can cut on a mat, either 12 by 12 or 12 by 24, or you can cut those smart materials or those matless materials where you put it right in the machine and you cut without a mat. With smart materials, which is what those are called, you can cut just over 12 inches wide and about 12 feet long. So you can make those really long cuts. It does also have the roll holder that goes in front of it, so it holds that roll and then cuts it off when you're done with it. That is a really nice perk anytime you're cutting without a mat. When you look at the Explore 3, unlike the iCraft here that only has one holder, the Cricut has 2, which most of their machines, the Explorer and the Maker series, have 2 clamps. When you have 2 clamps, you're able to put in a fine point blade and then a scoring tool next to it or a pen next to it. So it makes the process a little bit quicker. But even with that second clamp, it still does the same things that this iCraft does. So you have that fine point blade, you have a deep point blade, then you have the addition of writing tools, foiling, and scoring. So the same functions that this does, it just holds it in 2 clamps instead of 1. The Explore 3 does have print then cut, so again, with the addition of a printer, because neither of these machines are printers, you can print stickers and then cut them with your machine because it has that sensor built in. The buttons on the Explore 3 are very similar to this. Most of it is done through the app or through the software, but it does have that start and stop button and a power button. You plug the Explore 3 into the wall, and then it also has a USB cord to connect it, or you can hook up with Bluetooth. The dimensions of the machine are about the same. The tool holder isn't quite external like this. It looks a little bit more sleek. It's a little built in, but they both weigh 11 pounds. So really they're very much the same footprint and weight. When you purchase the Cricut Explore 3, machine only, not a bundle, you are going to get the machine, power cord, USB cord, a fine point blade, and some practice materials. When we talked about the iCraft, you also get the pen and the weeding tool and the housing and a cutting mat. Those would be things you'd have to purchase separately for your Cricut machine. Cricut is operated by Cricut Design Space. They're free software. It can run on a Mac or OS computer. It can run on a tablet or a phone. So as I've shared all of those specs between the Cricut Explore 3 and the Loklik iCraft, they are almost identical. These machines are almost identical. They look very similar, they weigh the same, they have the same footprint, the same capabilities. There are two big differences between these machines. The first difference is the software. Loklik has only been around for a couple of years. They have a very good software, but it's definitely missing some of the functionality that Cricut Design Space is. Cricut has been around for a very long time, and they have a dedicated team who is always updating Design Space. And it's got some pretty great functionality to it. I also find if there is a bug or if there is an issue, they are on top of it and they are fixing it. So there are some things that I cannot do with the Loklik Idea Studio that I can do with Cricut Design Space. Within both of these softwares is a library of graphics and fonts that you can use in your designs. There are thousands upon thousands of designs in Loklik Idea Studio, but I tend to bring in my own designs. I don't love the designs that they have. They don't really work with what I'm making, but I can easily bring in my own art or head to a place like Creative Fabrica and bring in elements from there. In Cricut Design Space, they have a thriving image library that is completely free. They also have contributing artists that you can use their artwork in your designs. I find I use Cricut Design Space a lot more and I don't have to bring in my own designs as much. Both softwares, Loklik and Cricut, offer a pro version that offers you a little bit more. I have Cricut Access, which is the pro version of Cricut Design Space. It's about $10 a month, gives you access to absolutely everything, and I think it is very well worth it for the amount of time that I spend using Cricut and the amount of features that I use that are paid features. Loklik has a pro version. I understand what's in it, but I have not tried their pro version yet. When you log into their software, it'll kind of show you what is locked behind there, but I have not yet tried that. The second big difference between the two machines is the price. So we're going to talk regular machine-only price here. No sales, no bundles, just the machine. The Loklik iCraft, with just those things that I said are included, is $229. The Cricut Explore 3, with just the items that are included, no bundle, is $319. So let me give you my takeaway on these two machines. They both do the same thing. If you want to cut vinyl in HTV, if you want to make cards, if you want to add some foil, maybe cut some fabric, print and cut some stickers, you can do that with either machine. They are really a head-to-head comparison between the Explore 3 and the iCraft. The software for me is a big difference. I like the Loklik software. I can do just about everything I want to do with it. The Design Space software with Cricut is better. It's just easier to use and there's more designs in the software. If you are creating your own art, if you don't need a library of images and you are creating your own art, that doesn't matter so much because the actual functionality in the software is about the same. It's really that library of graphics and fonts that is more robust in Cricut. So the software is important to me. I like Cricut better, but I can use this if I am bringing in my own designs, which I often do. I either create my own designs or I'm using them from Creative Fabrica to build art and then bring it in. So the Idea software or the Idea Studio from Loklik works really well for me. If you are looking for a budget-friendly first cutting machine that you want to do all kinds of things, I would go with the Loklik. It is roughly $100 less and you get more with the machine only. So you get the cutting mat, you get the pen, you get the housing. Those are not extra purchases. And they are running some great sales. Cricut runs great sales too, but the bundles with Loklik are really good. They were just running one where you get a free heat press with it. So there is a way to get quite a bit with this machine for a lot less. My goal of this video was to compare the new Loklik iCraft to its Cricut that is most similar, and we found that that is the Explore 3. So I hope this gave you a good head-to-head comparison of Loklik and Cricut, and I gave you something to think about. I gave you some information that's going to help you make a decision. There are links to both of these machines down in the description. And if there are any discount codes or really good deals going on right now, I'm going to put those in the description too. You can get both of these machines for a really low price if you shop the sales. If you have any more questions on these machines, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to chat with you. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. I'm here every week with new videos to help you move forward in your creative journey. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.